Good evening, RC fans. Here's a quick review of the 1/24th scale Torment short course truck from ECX. I bought this vehicle last year for my daughter for about $70 Canadian, though I must have gotten it on sale because it now seems to retail for around $100. This tiny little thing is a whole 7 inches long and weighs less than my smartphone. I've heard people call it a Tobby grade vehicle, and I think you could argue that the 14+ age restriction on the box is ECX taking this truck a little too seriously. It is built like a mini hobby grade vehicle, however, with a 2.4 GHz transmitter, a tiny brushed motor, adorable little drive shafts, and a couple of fun-sized differentials. Those who claim this is more a toy-grade RC will point to the cover underneath the body shell, which makes it harder to access the truck's components, or to the bottom-loaded battery tray, complete with what could pass as a rebranded TV remote cover. Toy grade or hobby grade? It depends who you ask. The Torment comes fully ready to run with a 220 mAh nickel metal hydride battery pack, a charger, and 4 AA batteries for the transmitter. The included USB charger that I received with the truck has a faulty LED. It claims that the battery is charged well before it actually is. Something to look out for if you intend on buying a 1/24th scale Torment. The tiny Torment is significantly more difficult to control than a typical hobby grade RC. The servo is quite slow, and the vehicle invariably veers one way or the other instead of driving straight. Driving straight is something that most toy-grade RCs do well, so it can frustrate beginners who are arguably the main demographic for this kind of vehicle. It should also be noted that this vehicle runs on bushings, not bearings, which makes the vehicle stop abruptly when throttle is released. It isn't really possible to glide around corners as you would with an RC that runs on bearings, because you need to continuously apply throttle when turning. For a vehicle that's so small, it handles alright, but it isn't a precision instrument by any means. The Torment's motor packs quite a punch, and this is felt in 2 ways. 1, the truck is decently fast. With the throttle dual rate maxed out, it'll probably be more nimble than you'd expect. 2, it drains the little battery very fast. The 220 mAh nickel metal hydride battery pack lasts little over 10 minutes on a good charge, which is good for a kid or beginner, but serious hobbyists will find this frustrating. This is one of the truck's biggest flaws, and one that may drive several to purchase the similarly priced but longer lasting SC28 from Team Associated, or another alternative. Once it's on the go, the truck is impressively tolerant of abuse for something so dainty. The truck's light weight, along with its solid body shell, enables it to take all sorts of tumbles with impunity. Mine has been crashed into walls, dropped from stairs, and forced into all sorts of tight squeezes. However, when it did break, it was rather disappointing. 3 of the 4 body posts on my truck were ripped off when a novice driver attempted to put in body clips. Some reviewers on Amazon complain about the steering linkage being too weak. This has not been an issue I've encountered with my Micro Torment. This vehicle can only be driven in a handful of specific contexts. Indoors is where the Micro Torment shines the most. Because of its small size, you can come up with obstacle courses using house objects in no time. There's also less risk of damaging its inner components indoors. The truck will run outside on pavement or on a track, but you need to be wary of sand and rocks. After sending mine on hard-packed dirt for a few seconds only, it completely stopped when a tiny rock lodged itself into the rear diff. Maintenance on this truck is something you want to avoid altogether if possible. As previously mentioned, I had to extract a rock from the rear diff at one point, and it was simply no fun. There's a protective cover that must be removed to access anything in the truck, which is held in place by 8 of the tiniest screws. The long 2.4 GHz receiver antenna and electrical wires for the motor and ESC receiver are frequently in the way, and must be replaced carefully when closing up the cover. It feels like a truck not meant to be opened. So with all said and done, do I regret purchasing a Micro Torment, despite all its shortcomings? Well, no. I bought this truck for my 4-year-old daughter to learn to drive an RC, and to that end, it delivered. The short-lasting battery, the limiting cover, and all the other toyish attributes of the RC are actually well suited for beginners. The one flaw that I think needs addressing, even for newbies, is the poor handling. This truck is a good purchase for someone who prefers running RCs indoors, on a track, or for someone with an eager young driver on their hands. Anyone looking to enjoy the full hobby-grade RC experience should look at something offering more versatility. Well, that's it for me. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave me a comment in the comment section below if you have a minute, and have a lovely day.